Hi guys, here's 2.3 Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So in regards to forces, they never exist alone. They always come in pairs. So the force of A on B is equal to the force of B on A in the opposite direction, so a negative sign. So the action force would be my finger on the wall, and the reaction force would be that the wall is exerting a force back on my finger. Example vertically like this. Action, hitting a volleyball up. Reaction force is that the volleyball is exerting a force back on the person's hands. An apple falling. When an apple falls, the action is gravity exerting a force on the apple. The apple falling also exerts a reaction force by Newton's third law on the apple. It's the force exerted by the apple on Earth. So we'll learn a lot more about gravity later, but anything that takes up space and has mass will exert gravity on another object. Although the mass of the apple is much smaller than the mass of the Earth does not rise to meet the apple, but there is a reaction force by Newton's third law. A magnet brought close to a nail. So the force of the magnet on the nail is the action force, but the nail is in fact exerting a force on the magnet as well. You see this when you have really, really powerful magnets and you bring them close to very large metal objects. Instead of the large object moving towards the magnet, you would see the magnet in your hand be pulled towards the large object. So things like propellers that aircraft have, these involve Newton's second and third laws. The propellers move through the air, and as it rotates, it exerts a force on the air, pushing the air backwards. It's the reaction force of the air pushing the plane forward that makes the plane move. So there you have it, a really simple lesson. Every action force has an equal and opposite reaction force. I'm actually going to have you omit 3.12 on page 164 and the two practice problems that follow. We're going to leave those out for this year. What you can do, however, is some kind of chart or graphic organizer that helps you to memorize Newton's laws. It's important in physics not only to be able to do the math, but to be able to explain using proper terminology why the math works. So Newton's laws, be able to reference them when you explain a scenario. Like the air pushing the propeller forward is a reaction force by Newton's third law on the propeller exerting a force on the air. Be able to reference them in your explanations and know first, second, and third and the differences between them.